High School in northwest suburban Arlington Heights, Illinois, Sports Channel presents the 56th annual IHSA Boys Singles and Doubles Tennis Championships. Good day, everybody. I'm Chris Matson, courtside, along with Bennett Academy tennis coach and our color analyst, Mike Hand. We are just moments away from the start of our singles championship round. You know, for those boys that are fortunate enough to have made it to the finals round, you can pretty much say they have beaten the best competition the state has to offer. But on the other side of the coin, we need to take a look at old man Weather for the second straight year, Mike. He's trying to toss his 2 cents in worth as well.
Well, the kids have had to go through the hot, the cold, the rain. We've had some players who haven't been able to continue because of that from cramps.
A couple of droplets are falling as we speak, but I'll tell you this much, those inclement conditions didn't knock a couple of players off of their game. First and foremost, junior Mike Slimack out of Bishop McNamara showed tremendous intestinal fortitude. Coming back after dropping the first set, he defeats two-time doubles champion Chris DeVore.
Well, again, that's one of the nice things about playing tennis. You lose the first set, you've still got 2 more, you can come back. You start at 0-0, and he did a nice job coming through.
Cross court, you'll find the senior out of Aurora West, Jim Panagopoulos. Panagopoulos making his second consecutive trip to the finals.
Well, you're going to find a real contrast in style. Panagopoulos likes to hit the ball hard. If that doesn't work, he likes to hit the ball harder, and Slimack is going to try to sit at the baseline and rally with him.
So there you have it. Panagopoulos likes to play the aggressive game. Slimack likes to grind it out. Should be a dandy. We'll be back with the results of the toss and the opening serve right after this. You're watching the IHSA on Sports Channel. Chris Matson and Michael Hand back at the Tom Pitchford Tennis Complex on the campus of Hersey High School in suburban Arlington Heights, Illinois, side of the 1991 Boys State Tennis Tournament. There you get a good look at the senior out of West Aurora, Jim Panagopoulos, as we get set for the opening serve. Ouch. Right off the bat, that vicious serve. 15 love. Mike Slimack, the junior out of Bishop McNamara in south suburban Kankakee, Illinois.
Very low. Well, as we said in the opening, if it doesn't work, he'll just hit the ball harder, and it's tough to sit back there and watch the serve coming at you that hard. He just presses and presses and presses and presses you into making mistakes.
30 love. Panagopoulos, 6'1", 170. His forte serving and attacking, and you saw it right there, right off the serve.
It's when you've got a serve like that, it really puts the pressure on the return.
Fault. Double fault, 40-15.
Well, that's one thing. He won't do that too often, but he gets a real deep second serve. It's probably better than a lot of players' first serves. A lot of people would love to have it, even as a first serve. Closes that one out with a bang.
1-0. Favor of Panagopoulos. Slimack making his way over to the sidelines. Slimack, who in his bio told us he likes to grind things out. Obviously, he's in for a long grind here this afternoon. Panagopoulos, he has a tendency to wear his opponents down, and he may quit work in that opening game.
Well, he's gonna try and as we said, put the pressure on you. He's gonna try to take as many balls as he can and get up to the net. And he's a little intimidating. He may only look 6'1", but he looks 6'3", 6'4" when he stands up at the net. And you've got to try to do something with the tennis ball, either get past him or lob over him. And with his serve, there's not a whole lot you can do. You really cannot hit an offensive shot a lot of times off his serve. And he'll come in and try to win the point off the serve.
Contrast in styles here. Yeah. There you see Slimack. He's set to go, set to serve, but yet Panagopoulos took all the time he needed on the sidelines, very poised, very relaxed. It appears as though Slimack was almost, without saying it, saying, give me the ball. I want a shot at this guy. And then you had Panagopoulos very composed.
Yeah, well, he's, I don't know if he's got a problem with a racket over there. Yeah, I can't tell if he changed rackets or not. He may have had a problem with a racket that he needed to.
Slimack to serve. Fault.
There we go again. Hit the ball, trying to attack. Slimack has a very good serve in his own right too. He doesn't hit it quite as hard, but he'll press the opponents also.
Out down the alley, 30 loves Slimack, and that was undoubtedly the best rally we've had of this match thus far.
Well, there's the style. When Slimack's serving, he's going to try to keep Panagopoulos back.
Double fault.
No, that went in.
Slimack attempting the passing shot, but couldn't find the lane.
Well, he had him at his mercy and didn't quite execute the shot. And those are the ones you like to have. I mean, he's really giving you a little bit of a break with the volley. Well, Larry was trying. Oh, broke a string, I think, which is why he probably thought he made a silly error trying to follow that in, but he was trying to get the point over.
Slimack with a nice setup, 40-15. You see the replay coming out of the corner.
Yeah, and Panagopoulos just coming up to the net, trying to get the point over as quickly as possible. There's not a lot you can do with a racket with a busted string.
Slimack awaiting the go-ahead from Panagopoulos, who once again is making an adjustment with the racket. Long.
Looked like he stood up on the ball a little bit. Didn't follow through on that.
By the way, we should point out our umpire is Ross Eustace atop the chair. Our net judge is Ray Lewandowski on the right baseline, Jack Miller on the left baseline. You have Art Layton. There you see Ross Eustace. Waiting for Panagopoulos to get into position. There is a ball on the court.
As long as it's not too far from the net. But see now that he'll clear the ball because he doesn't want it in play, doesn't want to step on it, turn an ankle.
Deuce.
Game is at deuce. Side judges Bill Charles and Joy Dewar, as well as Mary Carlson. Slimack, at one time in control of this game, now playing out of the deuce. And once again, Panagopoulos grabs another racket.
A little finicky, I guess.
Can't argue with success.
It looks like he's having a little trouble with his serve. Good deep second serve. Panagopoulos had thoughts about trying to take that ball and come into the net, and Mike hit it real deep, made it a little tougher on him, forced the error.
Advantage Slimack.
Deuce.
second deuce. It almost appears as though Slimack has been taking notes. In other matches, Panagopoulos has been charging the net. Here he's trying to keep Panagopoulos back.
Well, I think anybody that played Panagopoulos would try to do the same. Again, it's very intimidating. And, you can keep him at the baseline. You can probably have a better shot.
Advantage or what?
Double fault.
That hurts at a crucial point. Every double fault hurts, but especially at a point like that. And part of that is the pressure that Panagopoulos puts on you. You know, we saw a couple of points ago that he hit a good deep second serve. Well, this one he tried to do the same and didn't have the same results.
Game goes to Panagopoulos. 2 games to none.
Well, we kind of saw this scenario in the first, in the semifinal match with Slimack and DeVore. Slimack losing the first set and coming back.
Love 15, the double fault again. Panagopoulos obviously wasn't trying to place the ball. He came back with the same overhand delivery, same velocity as he had tried on the first attempt.
Yeah, usually with a second serve, it looks the same. They try to spin it a little bit more, get a little more clearance over the net, and he didn't succeed, obviously. Very nice shot.
Nice point for Slimack. As once again, you saw Panagopoulos serve and attack, and as soon as he approached the net.
Well, he didn't quite get the ball far enough in the corner and gave Slimack a chance to go after it. You don't necessarily want to paint the lines with that first volley. You're really not. In some cases, you're really not trying to win the point off the first volley. You're trying to set up the point and trying to put the ball away on the second volley, and he just didn't quite get it far enough away from Slimack, where Slimack had a chance to hit a good shot.
Panagopoulos has been in this position before. It was just a year ago that he faced his Aurora West teammate Paul Pridmore.
Good serve. And as he admitted, it's tough. You know, you play against your teammate. You play, and it's for all the marbles. You know, usually you don't mind. Well, you do mind losing to your teammate, but at that point, it's all or nothing. And he was, you know, the good and the bad of that one.
Ball down the alley. Panagopoulos' brother Randy is a teaching pro at the Aurora Tennis Club.
Oh, I tried to go for a real sharp angle. Didn't quite get it.
30 all.
You really have 3 choices when somebody's coming in, and you can either obviously go down the line, go cross court, or lob. And in that case, he chose to try to cut off an angle cross court and just missed it. We're having a discussion about the tennis ball.
30 all, Panagopoulos to serve.
See, there's the case. You set up the point. You hit the serve and you hit the first volley to set up the second volley, and in that case, Slimack didn't get it back for Panagopoulos to do anything.
Panagopoulos with an opportunity to go up 3-love. Game is at deuce on the double fault.
I wonder if they're just a little nervous at this point, because that's his third double fault in 2 games.
Slimack appearing very poised. Panagopoulos to serve. Advantage Aurora West.
Of course, we talked about him being nervous, and then he puts in a serve like that. Good serve right down the middle to the backhand. Good shot.
Game is back at deuce with a brilliant passing shot just off the alley.
That was a case where Panagopoulos decided, instead of trying to go to the corners, go down the middle and really cut off the angles that Slimack had, but he still was able to rip one down the line.
Terrific smash by Panagopoulos. Advantage Aurora West.
I think Mike would have liked the latter, because he was there, but couldn't quite get to it. Tried to lob that time. He tried to mix it up a little bit. You know, he hit a passing shot down the line. Thought maybe Jimmy would be looking for it, and in this case he went up with a lob. But Panagopoulos hit a good winner.
Game goes to Aurora West of Jim Panagopoulos. He's up 3-love.
Try to move the serve around, which is what he's doing. You move it forehand, backhand. So the receiver doesn't have as much of a chance to sit on it. If you don't keep going one place, and I know this ball's coming to my backhand. In that case, Panagopoulos is doing a real good job of moving to the forehand, backhand, crowding him with the serve, and forcing either a service winner or a chance for him to put a volley away.
It almost seemed as though as soon as the advantage went to Panagopoulos, we also saw him serve and attack immediately. It appeared as though he was almost telling Slimack, look, if you're going to try a passing shot, you cannot afford a careless reply.
Yes, yes.
Panagopoulos once again sitting in poise. He's actually working now on retaping the handle of his racket.
What he sees, there's just a grip. There's a grip on the racket, and a lot of players use various products, one of which I don't know what he's got in there, but what it is supposed to do is absorb the sweat a little bit better, so the racket remains tacky and it doesn't slip out of your hands. Because with a regular grip, once it gets wet, like anything, it'll slip out. So this gives you a little better feel of the racket. You can hang on to it.
About 15.
Slimack getting under that one just a little bit.
Yeah, he in this case he was trying to force the play, and really almost tried to get the point over too soon. It seemed like he wanted to hit a real good shot, and almost passed it up. You try to get the point over instead of working on the shot that you're hitting at the moment.
Ball!
There's the pressure on the second serve. You hit a short second serve, he chips the ball and comes in right behind it. And you know, you don't have as much of an opportunity to react because he's taking the ball quickly right after it bounces. So you've got to react a lot quicker.
Textbook.
Yes. All set up by a terrific shot. Hit a nice deep shot that Mike could do very little with, but put up a lob.
There you see Panagopoulos coming up off the baseline and the smash.
Yeah. At that point, Slimack's just guessing which way he's going to go, and didn't guess right. He's trying a little of the tactics in this case. I don't know that he really was just hitting it right back at him. I don't know if that was his thought at the moment. Trying to again cut down the angle.
It's odd to see so many service faults. We'll talk about this, but it almost appears to be the least practiced shot.
Game Aurora West.
Along with the volley.
4 love.
Game
Yeah.
Aurora West, 4 games, love.
Well, it's not practiced very often, even though it's so easy to practice it because you don't need anybody else. But to the other side, it's very difficult to really know what you're doing right or what you're doing wrong. So you can practice it, but in some cases you may be practicing bad habits. It's hard to watch yourself hitting a serve because it's above your head.
Panagopoulos, top of the screen. Tremendous passing shot. Panagopoulos on his horse back to the baseline, keeping the ball in play, and then, of course, the passing shot for the point.
Well, Slimack did a nice job putting up a lob over his head, but Panagopoulos was equal to the task because this ball he hits just barely clears the net and forces Slimack to hit not quite as good a volley as he would like to, and gave Jimmy the opportunity to go down the line.
Slimack catching a bit of a break there.
Yeah, I was going to say it was either catching a break or catching his lunch with that one. Panagopoulos likes to hit overheads wherever. Again, it's part of his game.
Service fault.
Yeah. In that case, Slimack was trying to come up on that one, take that one early.
Oh!
15-30 on the double fault.
You don't, I kind of wonder, I don't think we saw him serve this many double faults in the matches we've seen, but whether he's feeling a little bit of the pressure from Slimack trying to keep the ball deep.
It's long.
Good get. Those are the points that you, in a lot of cases, just want to survive. And every once in a while, you're going to catch a break. You're going to hit a good shot. And those are the points that turn matches around. And again, Slimack coming in, trying to really just block the ball back.
$30-40.
30-40. You know, watching Panagopoulos, it reminds me of a quote I once heard about Mitch Williams, former Cubs relief pitcher. They talked about him coming to the plate. It was like a man with his hair on fire. And when you see Panagopoulos come out of that hurrah position, the ball at the top of its flight, the racket coming down on service, I mean, he's coming at you full force.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's no light with him. It's hard or harder. Pretty shot. Pretty shot.
4-1.
I don't think Panagopoulos got that ball. We saw that before. He didn't quite get the ball off into the corner as much as he would like to, and Slimack had an opportunity. Made the best of it.
Both players appear poised, and I think if you take a look at both players and the type of match we're seeing, what's even more impressive is that they appear to be, you don't see them gasping for breath. They appear to be tremendously conditioned athletes.
Yeah, very definitely. You can see you really just put the ball right down the middle. And at that point, as with Slimack before with the overhead, you're really almost guessing. And Panagopoulos was more or less frozen. But you have to, at this level, there's very little that you can let distract you, because you've got to put the intensity and the concentration into the game. And if you start worrying about other things, you find yourself out of the match very quickly.
Early on in this match, Michael, it appears as though both players have a quality that every tennis player must have to be successful, and that is mental toughness.
Yes, yes. That's just one of the things you develop. You develop the tennis playing ability.
Love.
15 love. Slimack, top of your screen. There you see Panagopoulos, the senior out of Aurora West. Up 4-1.
But a very important last game with Slimack breaking serve. Really proved to himself and to Panagopoulos that it can be done. I can break your serve, because you have to do that at some point in time.
There appears discrepancy here. Slimack thought he heard the line judge say out, yet the umpire, Ross Eustace, says 15 all.
15 all.
And as you can tell now, the crowd is in disagreement as well.
Correct, 30 love.
30 love.
Players are good sports. They know the score. They don't want to see themselves cheated as much as they necessarily want to cheat the opponent.
And there you saw Panagopoulos even go over and tell Ross Eustace that indeed the score was 30 love. A credit to Panagopoulos' sportsmanship. Keeping the game baseline. 40 love.
Well, Panagopoulos thought about coming in off that second serve and realized he didn't hit quite as good a shot as before, as he would like to, and came right back and just was content to hit it rally at the baseline.
Ball!
Hit it with his left hand.
Ball!
Double fault.
40-15.
There's that pressure. Knows Panagopoulos would love to take the ball and come into the net. You've got to do your darndest to keep the ball deep to keep him from doing that. And it's as much an offensive weapon as hitting a forehand or a backhand.
15-40.
He was there.
Slimack attempting the volley. Couldn't quite get the distance. 40-30.
I think he got caught a little bit. I think he thought Panagopoulos might be going down the line.
There's a light mist falling.
Game. Bishop McNamara.
Game goes to Slimack.
Went for all the marbles on that one.
4-2. Bishop McNamara. Down by a pair. Panagopoulos to serve. Once again, Panagopoulos charging the net, and the terrific passing shot down the near lane by Slimack.
What you know, you've got to hit the good shots against the good players, and you can't just go up to the net and expect somebody to hand you the point. And Jimmy didn't really hit a good approach shot or a good volley off that.
You saw a few of the umbrellas dotting the crowd here at Hersey High School. Yes, indeed. It is raining once again.
Set up by a beautiful serve. He pulled him wide with the serve.
How does the strategy change? You notice now that Panagopoulos is dragging his feet back. He's telling the umpire that there's a slick spot on the court. How does the strategy change?
Well, I don't know that there's really a change in strategy. What he's just trying to do is trying to protect himself from getting hurt. You don't want to slip, and this is probably the worst time on the court, with just a little bit of rain coming down, just lightly covering the court, and you know, the shoes aren't meant to grab like that.
You can tell the gallery is making its way to the clubhouse. In the meantime, let's take a timeout here on Sports Channel. You're watching the 1991 Boys State Tennis Tournament on Sports Channel. We are back at the Tom Pitchford Tennis Complex on the campus of Hersey High School in Arlington Heights following a 47-minute rain delay. There you see the players, Jim Panagopoulos of Aurora West leading Michael Slimack of Bishop McNamara 4-2. As we resume play, we are at 15 all.
Time.
Panagopoulos making some final equipment adjustments. It was interesting to notice how both players, during our rain delay, Michael, Slimack was conversing with people inside the gymnasium, while apparently Panagopoulos elected to take refuge in the Aurora West van, sort of maybe collect his thoughts just a little bit.
Well, to each his own, I guess. Slimack seems to be, you know, from talking to him, a little bit more laid back on things, and just kind of, well, let's just kind of take things as they go. And I think this means a lot to both players.
Halt!
That was a good way to start off. It's almost, you know, it's almost like you're starting all over again. The only difference is in case of Slimack, he's down.
Service winner, 30-15.
Another forced error with the serve.
It was interesting. We had a chance to chat during the break with Brian Brooks, coach at Aurora West. He told us that Panagopoulos' serve has never been clocked.
I don't know that I don't want to clock it. There's something about not knowing maybe is better.
Game to Aurora West. Panagopoulos now up 5-2.
It's you know, they were almost even. You know, they're 15 all, but still it's tough on the players coming out.
With that, let's take a break. Panagopoulos up 5-2. You're watching the Boys Singles Championship on Sports Channel. Slimack to serve.
Love 15.
Love 15. Chris Mattson alongside Michael Hand at the Tom Pitchford Tennis Complex at Hersey High School. Hope you're enjoying the telecast. It's been an entertaining first match. Service ball.
Halt! 15 all.
Well, we're going to see, you know, on the first point, Panagopoulos electing to come in and force the play in, and the second point just electing to stay back. He's got such an all-around game. He can do either.
Panagopoulos a game away
Ball!
from taking the first of this best of 3.
$15.30.
15-30 on the double fault.
Well, that's again, we've talked about it, and you hate to keep saying it, but you just put so much when you've got a good return and you're gonna come in on the net. You put so much pressure on the server, especially second serves. Of course, even when you hit a first serve and come back at it like that.
And it appears as though Panagopoulos wants to test the backhand of Slimack.
I think he just wants to test everything. Just hit it wherever. Obviously, the best shot is going cross court. The net's lower. You don't have to worry about it. And you're hitting the ball. You've got a longer space to hit that.
Service fault. Now he has to put this one in play.
$30.40.
30-40.
That was a little uncharacteristic, but that you do that a lot when you force it. You sometimes force yourself to make the errors. Because that really wasn't it was almost an unforced error.
Game, first set, Aurora West.
Game and set goes to Aurora West, Jim Panagopoulos. 6-2, your final.
Well, we're really seeing a little bit of streaks here with Panagopoulos winning the first 4 and then Slimack winning the next 2. And
Service ace.
And that one went through the fence. Wasn't content with staying in the court. There's not a lot you can do with that. He's again trying to take it early and just block it back, and it's coming too fast.
Slimack appeared to be in disagreement with the judge.
A little bit.
15 off.
I think he liked that call, though.
It's interesting to see how Slimack has adjusted since the opening of this match. You notice his feet he's moving much more rapidly towards the ball.
30-15.
Well, he knows what Panagopoulos is going to do. Jimmy has yet to volley and hit behind him. He's always going to the opposite corner, and so Mike's really just taken off, and you'll see one of these times he's going to wrong foot him and hit it behind him.
Panagopoulos to serve. Fault.
And that was the right call. Again, beautifully set up. You hit that first volley, and you're not trying to put the ball away. You're trying to set it up so that you can put the second ball away. Hits that ball into the corner. Slimack does a nice job of getting to it, but there's not a whole lot he can do with it. And Jimmy's got the whole court to hit at.
Nothing like using all of the court as well.
They both did.
Panagopoulos had the wide open avenue on the near sideline, but failed to place it over the net.
That's a little harder shot than most people might think.
40-30.
There we go again.
Game is at deuce.
2 unforced errors, which a little uncharacteristic.
To the credit of both players, though, Michael, it appears as though neither player admires their shot. As soon as they get the shot off, it seems like they're right back in the set position, ready to accept the next.
You can't. I mean, if you admire that shot, the next one you're going to be doing is, the next thing you're going to be doing is picking the ball off from the back of the fence.
Service fault. Panagopoulos telling us that undoubtedly the strongest aspect of his game is the serve, and he's proven that here against Michael Slimack. Slimack, the junior out of Kankakee, holding his own.
Oh, nice point.
Tremendous
Nice
rally.
point. Slimack did a nice job with the point. He just really was on the defensive most of the time. And Panagopoulos hit a nice little backhand overhead.
Advantage Panagopoulos. And once again, the rains pay us a visit. It's a light mist, but it is coming down steadily. Panagopoulos, you may remember just before our last rain delay, complained a little bit about how slick the court was becoming. Service fault. Terrific passing shot. Game is back at deuce.
He didn't get the ball deep enough, and Mike could go either way, and really just had to pick and choose which way he wanted to go.
Michael Slimack, 6'2", 148 pounds. Panagopoulos to serve. Service fault.
148 pounds. It's amazing how they get a lot of power. Good deep second serve. Seems like we keep saying the same things over again, but I mean, Panagopoulos' game is serve and volley, and you notice Slimack would really like to extend the points a little bit more, and instead of 2 or 3 shots and it's over.
Service fault.
Now, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you do not hit the ball. You could even swing and miss it as long as you do not hit the ball.
Tremendous volley.
Now, much better volley. If you remember a couple of points ago, the volley that he had hit around the service tee, and Slimack could go anywhere. This ball hit near the baseline, and Mike could do very little with it.
Second set, Panagopoulos up. 1-love. You're watching the IHSA Boys State Tennis Championships on Sports Channel. Chris Mattson and Michael Hand back at the Boys State Tennis Championships. Michael Slimack out of Kankakee, Illinois to serve, down 1-0. Panagopoulos, well, I guess for him you could almost say this is the shot at redemption. Last year I know that he found it a little bit tough to stomach. He was playing his teammate in Paul Pridmore. Of course, Pridmore went on to capture the singles championship. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Well, Jimmy was a little. You're both. You got a problem because you're playing your teammate. You want him to win, yet you're playing him and you want to win, and it's for all the marbles. And so he wants this. He almost thought about not playing high school tennis this year, but decided to shot at the. Oh, that's pretty.
What a drop.
That's pretty.
He just dinked it over the net.
Yeah, it's not so much that he's really trying to hit that shot. It's just Slimack hit such a great shot, and he's just reaching over. You just angle the racket up, and
by the time he made contact, Slimack had to make up half the court. Service fault.
There's that second serve, chip, come in, hit a good deep return, and Mike could do very little with it. Tried to go cross court, tried to pass him.
Slimack coming from a family of tennis players. His parents, Nicholas and Patricia, as well as his brother and sister, Nicholas and Susan.
Oh, that's too good. That was, he disguised that very well. In fact, I thought he was going down the line with that shot, and he just held it long enough and then just cut right under it. A nice little drop shot.
15-40. Service fault. I guess you could say you talked about how it's tough finding partners in the Slimack family. It shouldn't be too difficult.
Game Aurora West.
Game goes Aurora West on the double fault.
How can you, it's so, you think, well, gee, how hard is it to get the serve in? Well, getting the serve in isn't the problem. You can get the serve in. It's what you do after he hits it back down your throat.
Once again, it's that little dink at the net that is doing the damage.
Well, Mike didn't hit really that bad a shot, but Panagopoulos was in so close to the net. You know, you want to hit the ball down low so the player has to volley it up, but he was so close there was no chance for the ball to get below the net. Well, he guessed right. He didn't. A little upset with himself. He really had a shot at doing something with that ball, and maybe didn't think it was coming. He thought it was coming at him a little harder than it actually did. But there's the case where Jimmy, every time he's taken the ball, he's always gone cross court, and Mike just guessed with him.
Service fault. One of the things that Panagopoulos told us is that he dislikes bad line calls, and that time you could tell he had a few choice words for umpire Russ Eustace.
Well, I think he said it politely, though. There you go. Again, set up by a very good return of serve. Return of serve down at his feet that Panagopoulos didn't get quite as deep as he would like to have, and he's in the middle of the court.
Panagopoulos, no stranger to championship competition. He won the Easter Bowl in Miami, Florida back in 1989. Also captured the national doubles title.
He really was playing well 2 years ago and got knocked off in the tournament. Slimack helping the lines judge with that call.
30-all. Away from the game, Panagopoulos enjoys watching the Three Stooges and gangster movies, he tells us. Movies like The Godfather and Goodfellas.
Not too bad of movies, are they? Tough serve, tough serve. You just get a racket on it and hope you can get it back, and actually got the ball, hit the ball late, if you can believe that. When you're just sticking the racket out, there's not much you can do. Bye-bye.
Game, World West, 3-love.
3-love, Panagopoulos. And you could tell as soon as Slimack hit it, he just stopped dead in the corner and became a spectator.
Well, I think part of that, I think he thought the ball might have been wide. But you've got to, you know, they're not used to this. They're not used to having the lines judges. They're used to calling their own lines, and they don't get the opportunity to. So they usually feel that, well, in that case, I think he thought it was a little wide. But again, this is set up by a great, you know, good deep serve. It looks like it caught the side. Yeah.
For a moment there, it almost appeared as though Slimack thought he was going to get the call.
Yeah, yeah. And then he all of a sudden realized, well, guess I better keep playing this point.
Both players wearing white on white. There you see Jim Panagopoulos with his trademark, the headband. The Aurora West insignia emblazoned on his chest. Slimack to serve. On 3-love.
Love 15.
Love 15 on the double fault. Slimack, he not only excels on the tennis court, but also in the classroom. He's a National Honor Society candidate. Also was an All-American scholar.
You like to see that. You like to see the kids not just doing well in on the tennis court. Because even though, you know, you can play tennis for the rest of your life, but competitively, you want to be good in the academics also.
Love 30.
Love 30. 4 straight service faults. Slimack talked about how he would like to improve his serve, and it's obviously biting him right now.
Well, again, he's got a good serve. It's just the person on the other side of the net.
Tremendous rally, tremendous volley by Panagopoulos.
Although it seemed like he got bored about 4 or 5 hits in the rally and decided, well, that's enough of this. Let's go up to the net. And
15-40.
good serve. I think he caught Panagopoulos a little unawares. He went right into that backhand corner.
Slimack to serve. Right down the line.
That was pretty. That was pretty. You have to make that almost perfect. If that's anywhere to the to his left, Panagopoulos will get a racket on it.
Another tremendous passing shot. Worked him first to the left on the last point, now to the right. Slimack says of the pro players on the circuit right now, the one that he admires most is Jimmy Connors because of his competitiveness. And I think that competitiveness is certainly one of the aspects that this young man possesses, especially after the match he had to take on earlier today. And the strong showing he's showing right here. The advantage goes to Bishop McNamara.
Panagopoulos shouldn't. In a match like this, you can't get yourself distracted. You've got to keep focused on what you're doing. And you start worrying about what the lines judges are calling, it takes away from your concentration on the game. He's really just got to get down to the match at hand.
Back at deuce.
You know, they're all important at this point, but you'd like to, you don't want to go down 2 breaks. He's down, Slimack's down 1 break already, which is not insurmountable. I mean, he broke Panagopoulos in the first set. But you've got to win your serve and come back and try to break.
Advantage, Aurora West.
Advantage Panagopoulos.
That hurts too. That's just basic unforced error.
And now he has to put it in play.
Deuce.
Back at deuce.
I don't know what Panagopoulos said, but I don't think he was real happy with his shot selection at that point. Almost wanted to try to hit a winner down the line.
Advantage Panagopoulos.
Aurora West.
Panagopoulos seems to be approaching down the middle instead of giving Slimack some angles to hit at. Really saying to him, okay, I'll let you just go with one way or the other, but you've really got to cut off a big angle shot to go by me.
And Panagopoulos wraps this one up. It's now 4-love. And Panagopoulos to serve.
Same as it was in the first set. And this is the point where Slimack broke him. But you know, he's down 2 breaks now. He's got to break him twice.
Break service.
I'd like to know what Slimack's thinking as he's sitting back there waiting to return serve. I guess he's thinking I'll try and take it early and put the pressure back on Panagopoulos.
Love 15.
Love 15.
Panagopoulos is very good at getting down to the ball in his volleys, and that time he didn't quite get there.
Sometimes Panagopoulos, though, seems so effortless. I mean, I think he's a classic example of a player who lets the racket do most of the work.
As it should be.
There's the smash. 15 off.
Caught by a spectator as it goes over the fence. That was, again, set up by a tremendous serve. There was an instance getting down on the ball, getting down to the ball and volleying it. You don't really want to drop the racket head. It's not a golf shot.
Panagopoulos says Jack Sharp has had the biggest influence on his game, and we'll talk about that in just a moment as he gets ready to serve. Sharp, I understand, is a man that many players in the area turn to.
Yeah. There's a lot of players that go out to him in Aurora, and he worked with Panagopoulos. I believe he also worked with Paul Pridmore, who won the tournament last year.
And the ball becomes lodged in the net. And we're at 30. We pick up action with Panagopoulos serving down 30-40.
Pretty.
Uses the entire court.
Tennis players, I think, are some of the most superstitious people. They don't, if you've got a ball rolling back at you, they won't use that ball, or in the case of Panagopoulos, he did use the ball, just had the fault with. Now this time he gets rid of it.
Panagopoulos will move on to the University of South Carolina following his career at Aurora West. advantage goes to Slimack. You have to believe that Panagopoulos had to be one of the more sought-after players in the country.
Oh, definitely, very definitely. He's gonna give somebody a good program. A lot of the players, well, Paul Pridmore, who was last year's state champion, went on to the University of Minnesota. Tad Eckert, who was champion 2 years ago and lost to Pridmore in the semis, went on to Notre Dame. They're playing at their respective schools. There it is.
Tremendous passing shot. And once again, Slimack comes back. Now trails 4-1. Slimack's father, Nicholas, is said to be his biggest influence, and he has to be one proud papa as he sees this passing shot go to the left of Panagopoulos.
Yeah, Panagopoulos really didn't even go after it, and you'll notice on some of the other points, with Slimack, the reason he's trying to take the ball early is he wants to send it back at Panagopoulos earlier, so Panagopoulos doesn't have a chance to come in, and you can see that the ball went by him. He wasn't even at the service line, and a lot of times when he's volleying the ball, he's inside of the service line.
Do you feel as though, in Panagopoulos' case, that it's a time for him to almost coast at this point?
I don't think he does. I don't think he wants to. You start coasting, you find yourself down all of a sudden. That's another line call he thought.
Once again, if we can get a look at that, you'll notice Slimack stopped immediately after the ball made contact with the court, and you could see Panagopoulos rolling his eyes a little bit. Let's see right here.
It looked like it caught the
Tough
line.
angle.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It looked like it caught the line. But you got to play the points.
Love 15.
Love 30.
15. Correction, love 30.
That we mentioned before, it's the kids aren't used to having umpires and line judges, so they're used to making the calls themselves instead of having to wait for them to be made. Good approach shot. Set that up well, and didn't even need to close in for the volley.
Had Panagopoulos fully extended to the left. 15-30. Slimack was frozen.
Well, I don't know that he could have done much anyway. He really hit a deep volley, but didn't really do much with it. And Panagopoulos had all the time in the world to hit the lob.
Service fault. Tremendous passing shot just inside the line.
You don't give good players a chance to set and hit the ball. And I think Mike could have had a cup of coffee waiting for that ball to come down. I think Jimmy would like to have the approach back. As with the last point, I think Panagopoulos just kind of stood there and said, what am I going to do?
Game is now at deuce.
A little show of emotion from Panagopoulos on that one. I wasn't real happy with the shot.
Fiery competitor, Jim Panagopoulos.
Caught a break.
And he catches the break.
He set that point up well, really got down to the volley and almost cut it a little bit too fine.
Deuce.
Game is a deuce.
Stood up on that ball, didn't follow through on it very well.
Slimack, a two-time Chicago Tribune Athlete of the Week, gets set to serve. Panagopoulos takes his position baseline. Service fault.
Advantage Rural West.
Advantage Panagopoulos.
A little loose on that backhand. Whether he was trying to cut it a little bit too fine or the ball just floated a little bit on him.
See Panagopoulos talking to himself, getting himself both mentally and physically back into the game.
Practicing the backhand he missed a couple of points ago.
And we are back at deuce. You know, you talked about how Panagopoulos talking to himself. What amazes me about these youngsters is that it seems like they're so into visualization, seeing themselves making a good shot, seeing themselves making a good serve.
The psychology of it.
Advantage
You talk
Rural
about
West.
positive mental attitudes and just believing you can do things, and you have to get to this level, and to get to the next level you have to be able to do that. You can't think, well, I hope this is going to happen.
And the aggressive Panagopoulos puts it away. Game to Aurora West.
He still seems like he gets bored with the rallies, and hits the approach shot, and really Slimack didn't do as much with it as he's done in the past. He hit the ball, didn't quite get it as close to the line as he would like to have.
And Panagopoulos in a strong position, up 5-1 to serve.
Good return. Good return. I think he was, obviously, he was a little upset with himself on that point. But Slimack hit a good shot. At times you've got to tell players, you know, it's not your fault that you lost the point. You got to give the credit to the other person.
Talk about giving credit. Both players appear no worse for wear, but the conditioning of both of these athletes just has to be tremendous.
Well, and they play year-round, and they play tournaments during the summers, and they're used to it. That's volley.
Tremendous volley by Panagopoulos.
You know, we talked earlier with Slimack coming into the net. In that case, that volley he hit, he was about at least a couple of feet inside of the service line.
Panagopoulos says he plays at least 2 hours of tennis a day, as well as weightlifting and jogging. That's part of his regimen.
Well,
Service
it's worked.
fault. It
It's
certainly
worked for him.
has.
But it's not just that. It's a lot of the nutrition is starting to come into it. The weight training, the nutrition. Pretty shot, I think.
Panagopoulos shaking his head.
Well, I think Slimack broke a string and actually won the point, which was kind of nice. Maybe he didn't. Maybe it sounded funny. With these new oversized rackets, you hit them off the frame, and it sometimes sounds like you break a string.
And we'll talk about those rackets in just a moment as Panagopoulos gets set to serve.
Yep.
Nice
Nice lob.
Let's talk a little bit about the equipment involved in this game. I think when people take a look at the game of tennis, they think, well, ball, racket, and sneakers, I'm set to go. But you're talking about quite an investment.
Oh yeah, the rackets nowadays are upwards of 100, 150, sometimes 250. It gets to be an expensive hobby, whichever way you want to go with it.
Then you have your court shoes.
Yeah, the most good players will have a pair of shoes they'll wear exclusively on the tennis court.
Game 6 McNamara. Roll lead, 5-2.
Well,
And once again,
nobody wants to hold serve. They've had, I think, what is that, 3 breaks in a row.
5 games to 2 as you see Panagopoulos. Pretty good crowd on hand, despite the fact that the elements have certainly come into play. Earlier we had a 47-minute rain delay.
Well,
But the faithful have gutted it out.
Yeah, and they are. You know, these are not just fans that are involved with the schools. They're tennis fans, and unlike golf or baseball, you know, people will go see tennis. You don't have to have necessarily a person you follow. You just enjoy watching good tennis, and you know, we've seen an example of that today so far.
One game is all that separates Panagopoulos from the championship. Service fault by Slimack.
15 love.
I think he'd like to have that shot back. He really went to hit a winner, and when you're that good, you can, but at times you really have to take it one shot at a time and hit the shot to set up the point.
Dirty love.
30 love. Slimack showing no signs of wear and tear, despite the fact that he went 3 to take Chris DeVore, whom he considers to be his toughest opponent ever.
40 love.
Well, I don't think Slimack's ready to give in yet. He, as proven in the semifinal match, he lost the first set 6-2 to DeVore, but came right back. And
there's the smash by Panagopoulos.
umpire, the lines judge, make sure they get out of the way of those.
Well, it could be in the bloodlines for Slimack. He says his father is highly competitive.
It's nice to have the parental backing, although sometimes the parents can go too far to the extreme. I think as soon as Panagopoulos hit that, he realized he had really did not hit a good shot. And
third straight game for Mike Slimack. Panagopoulos a game away.
well,
Kling's 5-3.
he's serving for the match. You like to be in that position. This is a big point psychologically. If you can get the
Ball was long.
I sometimes wonder how they can even see the ball going that fast. Pretty volley. Pretty volley.
Very pretty, and you could tell Panagopoulos, he wants the ball right back.
He likes the forehand volley, and will try to run, not so much run around it, but try to hit that, and he really just kind of sliced that one off. Again, Slimack just trying to block the ball back, put a racket on it.
Tremendous lob. Perfect placement.
A little topspin on the ball helps bring it down, and then the ball just shoots away from you. It's very difficult to go after.
One has to wonder if Brian Brooks has another one in the stables. Should Panagopoulos take this match, it would mark the second consecutive year that Aurora West has captured the singles title.
Well, I'm sure he'd like to think he does, and there's a lot of coaches that would like to think he doesn't. That one almost ended up on the roof. That's too good. There's, you turn to your opponent, you say nice shot, and you go and play the next point.
Look at how the eyes are fixed, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but it looks like he's serving even harder now than when the match started.
Well, I'm sure the adrenaline's pumping.
Oh!
What a get. Great point. I don't know what.
I believe he thinks that Slimack may have hit the net.
I don't know. Well, he was running right towards it, but I think he was going to skirt right by it. What's the problem? Oh, we're looking for a tennis ball, I think. They've come out with these what they call vibrazors that they put on the rackets that are supposed to absorb the vibration and help, I guess, help the feel. I've never played with one, so I can't really say anything.
The smash.
With emphasis. Set up by a terrific volley. Slimack can just watch.
And that one certainly brought the crowd back into the game. It's match point. Panagopoulos can wrap it up right here. (40-30). Contact on the serve. He was in tremendous position. 2-2. Jim Panagopoulos, the junior out of Aurora West, captures the boys singles championship.
Some excellent tennis. Some excellent tennis. And really, I mean, that last point was just showing the styles. Panagopoulos, serve, volley, hit the ball across court.
2-3, your final scores. Jim Panagopoulos will make his way over to the sidelines, I'm sure, to receive congratulations from his head coach, Brian Brooks. Let's take a look at the winning point.
Slimack coming in, trying to get the ball early. Nice deep approach shot. I think Michael would have liked to have done a little bit more. He got the ball up a little bit too high, I think.
There you see Slimack, and there you see Panagopoulos, the 17-year-old, receiving congratulations. Jim Panagopoulos, our singles champions. And we'll be back with more. You're watching the IHSA on Sports Channel. Welcome back to Hersey High School. Our congratulations go to this man to my right, Jim Panagopoulos out of Aurora West, capturing the singles championship. Hello once again, everybody. Chris Matzel along with Michael Hand. And Jim, I know last year was a difficult situation. You were playing against your good friend and teammate Paul Pridmore, but this year a far different story. You appeared to be more focused.
Yeah, there was a lot more enthusiasm. I mean, I really was more hungry this year to really win it, being my senior. not having to play, you know, a best friend type, you know, teammate, where, you know, Mike Slimack and I are good friends. We practice a lot, but, you know, it wasn't quite to the extent that Paul Pridmore and I played.
Ironically, at one point, Jimmy was actually considering foregoing his senior year as far as high school competition was concerned, playing national competition. Does this make it all worthwhile?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, this is one of the best feelings, you know, one of the best victories for me ever. You know, I've won a lot of national tournaments, but this one really had a lot of heart, and, you know, I put a lot into the season, and, you know, I was really glad that I could come out and win it.
Michael, I know this young man has impressed you from the get-go. I'm sure you have something to add.
Well, I think the game just speaks for itself. He plays very hard. He plays very well. I thought you seemed like you were struggling a little bit serving, and at times then you'd come right through, and when you needed it, you'd hit the hard serves, hit the good serves.
Yeah, well, throughout the whole match, I thought I served well. But there were times where, when it started raining, I started to take my mind off of it a little bit and start worrying about the rain and are we going to have to run off the court, and you know, and my opponent Mike, he really, I mean, he hit some great returns and some really good passing shots, and you know, I pretty much just didn't focus on some of those service games.
So once again, our congratulations go out to Jim Panagopoulos of Aurora West, our singles champion. From here, it's on to South Carolina for the youngster. But we'll return with more of the doubles championships coming up on Sports Channel. Due to the wet conditions outside, we were relegated inside here at the Hersey High School Gymnasium. Chris Mattson once again alongside Michael Hand as we get set to put the finishing touches on this, the 1991 edition of the boys tennis tournament. Well, due to those heavy rains, we were unable to bring you the boys doubles championship, but we would like to congratulate our doubles champions, the Bloomington Raiders, both Dennis Alexander and Brian Edmonds, your 1991 doubles champions. And you know, Mike, when you take a look at this tournament, it's not easy to become a champion.
No, they've got 3 days of very stiff competition, 7 matches. It's a grind on them. A lot of them play these types of tournaments over the year, but this one is special to them because it is the high school state championship.
128 singles players, 128 double teams congregated here at Hersey High School over the course of the past 3 days. Very few will walk away with any championship hardware, but I think to give you an idea of the caliber of individual that plays this game, Mike, you have to take a look at the people as they were departing out of the building, shaking hands, giving the congratulatory pat on the back, and I think that says a lot for the sportsmanship aspect of the game.
Well, it is a game, and I think that a lot of the kids realize that. They try hard on the court. When the match is over, they're friends, and they leave that way. When they're on the court, it's one thing, and when they leave, they like to leave the match on the court.
And once again, during the course of our telecast, we had a chance to scan the crowd from time to time. Men and women, boys and girls, all ages, shapes, and sizes. And this is simply a game you could play from you're a tot to the time you're an Elster.
Well, you don't need that many people. You need one other person in addition to yourself, and there's plenty of opportunities to play. There's junior programs all across the state. Park districts run programs. High schools run camps. So you just have to look around to be able to find a place to play or a place to take lessons to hone your skills.
Our thanks to Michael Hand for his expert color analysis throughout this telecast. Once again, you've been watching the 1991 edition of the IHSA Boys State Tennis Championships. Our next IHSA Championship event will be an encore presentation of the 1991 IHSA Boys Gymnastics Championships, Tuesday at 1 p.m. This game was produced and directed by Dave Turner. The coordinating producer is Greg Bowman. Our executive producer is John Toohey. Remote facilities were provided by Trio Video of Chicago. Once again, your singles champion was Jim Panagopoulos of Aurora West. Doubles champion went to Bloomington, and team champion Hinsdale Central. Stay tuned to Sports Channel for Penn and Chase. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of Sports Channel.